Right?
Yeah. Welcome to 100 Yards of Football, and this is our legend segment for tonight. And tonight, guys, we got some of the legends of all time from FSU. We got Wally Woodham, quarterback extraordinaire. We have the smoothest, I call him smooth operator, wide receiver, Kurt Unglaub. And we got the great Jackie Flowers from Jacksonville Reigns High School, Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, man, I've been looking forward to doing this for a long time, man, with you guys. I always say this, being a defensive back and at FSU and practicing against you guys, it made me who I am today, right? Because you guys were no joke. But listen, guys, real quick, I'm going to give some information on you guys, and then we're going to just start a conversation, okay? Jackie Flowers, Jacksonville Reigns High School, Jacksonville, Florida, drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in 1980, played with the Tampa Bay Bucks, played for 4 different teams in the USFL. As a junior, Jackie, you have 43 catches at FSU for 757 yards. You led the team, 7 TDs, earning an honorable mention All-American. And in 1979, as a senior, you led the team again with 37 catches, 622 yards, 7 TDs, and earned second-team All-American status. Finished your career at FSU as the 5th leading receiver in FSU history. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to know that's a big deal right there. Because we've had some great receivers over the years that came before Jackie. Guy by the name of Fred Bolitnikov, guy by the name of Ron Sellers, guy by the name of Barry Smith, and we can go on and on and on. And you left there the 5th all-time leading receiver. And then we have next to you, you're riding down the other side of the field, Kurt Unglaub. Kurt went to Leon High School right out of Tallahassee, Florida, the great Leon High School. Played under Gene Cox there. I call him a smooth operator because nobody can run routes like Kurt Unglaub, and nobody had the hands like Kurt Unglaub, right? If he touched it, it was a catch, right? If he came there, it was a catch. And so he was a true freshman All-American in 1966, and he caught 33 balls as a freshman at FSU, 665 yards with a 20.2 average, 4 TDs that year. And listen at this, ladies and gentlemen. He had a touchdown catch of 96 yards. Freshman All-America, Mr. Kurt, we got to talk about that, man. We got to talk about that. What kind of pass pattern was that you caught? To go 96? Was it a go route? Or was it a slant? What was it?
A straight takeoff.
A go route. Wow.
Yes, sir.
And who threw that to you?
That was Jimmy Jordan.
All right, cool, man. Cool. High school.
The 91-yarder was Jimmy Black. It was pretty much the same play on the different sides of the field. But, I always think about George Hafner was our coordinator. And I always think about, the confidence that he obviously had in me to be able to run down the field that far and catch a ball. I mean, that was just like, wow, what's he throwing a go route to me,
Well, here's the great news, Glob. You caught it and you made it.
I guess he just thought I would catch him and get some good field position, right? You didn't think I was going to go all the way. So I didn't either. I struggled on both those, but somehow I ended in the end zone. And the 96-yarder, which was the fun one, it wasn't even a question mark, the play that came in from the sidelines, because we were down. We had to throw a. We had to score to win the game, and time was running out on us.
Okay.
And with that kind of confidence, and obviously having a great quarterback like Jordan to be able to zing it down there, it was like I said. I think he was just trying to get field position. That's all he was trying to do.
Hold on, Kurt. Hold on. So you had a 96-yarder and a 91-yarder that season?
Yes, sir.
Oh wow, man! Yeah. I don't think no receiver in Florida State history can say that.
Well, I mean, there's a couple 98s out there, but
not by the same guy. Not by the same guy, of course. That's big.
Hey, one of them was in the snow, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mean Green.
Oh, in North Texas.
North Texas, yes.
Oh, man.
North Texas State. The Mean Green.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was in the snow.
Yeah.
Glob. That's amazing. Well, you guys came out of great high school. Wally, you came out of Tallahassee, Leon in 1974, correct? 1974.
Right.
And here's the thing about, and we're going to get into talking about Gene Cox, but here's the thing about Wally. His senior year at Leon, he set the national high school passing record for a single season with 3,560 yards, was an All-American and the state Florida Prep Player of the Year in 1974. Listen now. We're talking about in 1974 at a high school, a guy threw for 3,500 yards. Right? So Wally, you guys had to be throwing the ball every down.
Yeah, we threw it a lot, and I mean, we had guys like Kurt. We had others that went to smaller colleges, and we had a lot of good athletes. And not only do we had good athletes, but I think Kurt would agree, the coaching was so good and so precise and so disciplined that you did it so. The old saying, repetition is the mother of learning. We did those 90 slants and 90 outs, what we call them 90s, and we could do them in our sleep. And Gene was just so big on just do it so many times, and he strove for performance. It was remarkable. And then you play against guys like Ivory Joe Hunter in practice. So we went out to ball games and played against teams. Teams weren't passing back then like that, so we could pretty much run the tape. Wow. They just did. We were so much in our offense, and they couldn't figure it out.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, if you got
everybody's running the veer. Everybody's running the veer.
Well, yeah, but think about the era. I mean, and football, the way football was typically played in that day was you run the ball and you throw the ball if you have to.
Yeah. Let me tell you something else I noticed about Wally, Kurt. Here's the situation I learned. They had a great passing thing, but Kurt Unglaub, I watched him. No matter what it had to be done, it was get the job done. If somebody cut him off, if they hit him before the ball got there, he caught the ball. Right. Everybody talk about Jimmy's arm, but the surgeon, I remember many times, if I didn't catch the ball, it was going to hit me right in the mouth. Right. Them guys, they was coached so well, but they had a drive and determination.
I think you might be getting me mixed up with Jimmy, Jackie.
Oh, man, you the surgeon, man. I know. And here's the situation.
Hey, tell them about the guys, Jackie.
If something happened out of the ordinary, they made the adjustment and they made the play work. I saw them do that. That's what I learned from them. Get the job done.
Absolutely. That's powerful. Well, I tell you, from a defensive standpoint, just practicing against you guys every day, but then on Saturdays getting a chance to watch you in action. I mean, man, it was a beautiful thing. I mean, it was a beautiful thing. And Wally, I got to tell you this. My whole life I played quarterback growing up, right? And I had these thoughts of, of course, I would play quarterback in college. Nobody recruited me to play quarterback, but two teams, and both of them ran the wishbone. And I thought that was a slap in my face. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, of course I could run the football, but I threw the ball pretty decent, right? And so, but everybody in the country recruited me to play defense, and so that's what I did. And so, but when I saw you and Jimmy throw the ball, I was convinced that I did the right thing.
They were good. Them guys were so
It was pure, wasn't it? It was
pure. Yeah, they were pure, man. They were sweet.
Bobby. Wait. Hey, anytime you do something and you do it thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times, you get good at it. Now you got God-given ability. Right. Jimmy and I both had God-given ability. And so I knew that from a kid coming up and throwing, I could just seem to throw it better than the other guys, right. And I like doing it. But when you get with somebody who coach like Gene Cox, and I think Kurt will agree with this, he can get the absolute most talent that God gave you out of it. Like if he would have coached a Bobby Butler or Jackie Flowers, I'd have loved to seen you guys at Leon play for that because he put pushed you so hard. I didn't care if he was going to dog you until you did. You gave everything you had. So I would really had, you guys like you would have, Lord, there's no telling what. He would get you to the roof of your abilities. You see what I'm saying? He was going to get you to the top of your game. Whatever
Absolutely. Well,
okay.
I tell you, and a lot of
would you agree with that, Kurt?
It was fear.
yeah, it was fear. He was scared. Thank you. I was scared of the man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And you know, Bobby, I came out of range as a tight end. I had never played wide receiver before.
What?
And I didn't know anything about cover one, cover two, anything about defense. I didn't know anything.
What?
If it wasn't for Kurt Unglaub and Mike Schumann, they probably would have put me a defensive end over there with Edinburgh. I watched Kurt and Mike Schumann and caught the ball from Jimmy White. I can tell you right there. I watched them guys. Those are my teachers. Besides Scoopfield, I got to get Scoopfield his problem. Now Scoopfield was there.
Right. Jackie came to the All-Star game, and I tell you right now, you talk about a humble gentleman. He came out there and saw Jimmy and I throw it up and down. And Jackie's looking at us like, what the heck's going on here? What kind of game is this? He had a lot of raw talent. He started as a wide receiver in the All-Star game. Remember that, Jackie?
Yeah, I remember you and I.
Yeah.
Wow.
We didn't play well, but it was a eye-opening world for Jackie Flowers.
Well, Jackie, let me ask you this question, right? So you came from Raines High School.
Yeah.
Now, what I know about Raines, you got a tradition and a great history of great football talent that come out of Jacksonville Raines.
Yes.
So tell me about some of the guys you played high school ball with that we may know.
Well, let me tell you why I played tight end at Raines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I ran the state. I won the state in the sprint medley relay. I ran a 220.
Okay.
And I ran a 22-1, 22 flat.
Mm-hmm.
So I was decent. I was decent at 195 pounds.
Uh-huh.
But we had Kelvin Muhammad.
Ooh, yes, sir.
On one end, and we had Lawrence Marshall on the other end. So you're talking about two legitimate 4-3. The reason I couldn't play wide receiver at Raines was fast enough.
Right.
I didn't have the athletic ability that was required. But, it was just like that. We ran the ball. We had Terry LeCount. They had the guy.
Yeah, Terry, right.
We had a lot of talent. Just like when Florida had the Wishbone, they had Wes Chandler and Derek Gaffney out there.
They had all them guys.
But, that's what was going on. But what converted me from a tight end to a wide receiver, I got to say, is my brother, Kurt, man. He took me under his wing. And his dad, I'm going to give props to Mr. George Unglob. That's my man. I love that guy, man. I love him. He embraced us, and he loved us, and he guided us. And it was all good. It was a whole new experience for me, a guy coming out of the hood, being embraced by these guys and watching Wally. And let me tell you a story, too.
Go ahead.
Me coming from Raines out of the hood, I'm 6'1", 195 pounds. So I was gonna raise up at Kurt one day. I didn't realize Kurt was a judo expert in black belt. Man, that joker tied me up. I couldn't even move. He didn't hurt me, though. He didn't hurt me, but he let me know. I got you now.
Hey, Glob, you have to put them boys straight in the hood because they think you can dominate everybody, right?
Well, you talked about Bobby Jackson. Bobby Jackson, Bojack, and I think we fought at least 10 or 15 times when I was we fought like cats and dogs because I was playing X and I think Bobby played that weak corner, right?
Right.
And he didn't play the strong corner over there with the flanker and all that. Mm-hmm. Bobby Jackson, I tell you right now, we fought almost every day. It felt like.
Wow.
And that was a tough little man now, a real tough man.
Hey, but that got you. Hey, but Kurt, when you look at all that, it helped get you ready, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, when it was time to compete on Saturdays, man, we were ready. Yeah. Jackie. When I think about Jackie, Jackie was the second coming of Otis Taylor.
Yeah.
If you watch Otis Taylor's tape, you see Jackie Flowers. Yeah. Right. And I'm just telling you, man, he was a graceful.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, he was a graceful, big receiver.
He was. Ooh,
Oh yeah,
good. Lynn Dawson, Otis Taylor. That's some good stuff
that's
right
good
there.
stuff right there. So
Elmo Wright.
all right, you remember that, right? So Jackie, let me ask you this question: out of all the touchdowns you scored at Florida State, what was your favorite?
My first one. The first, we were playing against somebody, and I ran a raggedy post corner. I was going to take three steps, and I took one step. Huh?
Virginia Tech.
Yes, and the guy bit for it so bad, I went back out there, and Jimmy threw it, and I had to wait about 3 seconds before it got there because I ran the pattern so bad. And let me tell you something. Schofield chewed me out in the meeting. and wait a minute, Bobby, I took a bow. I caught the ball and took a bow, and Bobby bowed. No, that's the one I remember. I got chewed out by Schofield, and I got chewed out by Bobby Bowles.
Oh my God! Well, you know now, I'm gonna tell you something.
Welcome to the world of college football, right?
There you go. Hey, I've seen you catch a lot of touchdown passes, right? But the one I love more than any, and it was the funniest one you ever caught, was the one you caught in Hattiesburg, Southern Mississippi.
The bee.
When you caught the ball and the bee was inside your helmet.
Yeah.
You running down the field, patting yourself.
Yeah. So Captain said, what in the world were you doing?
He's a law for the ride.
But I remember though, you made it. You put it in.
Yeah, it was that. If somebody would have been coming, I would have never knew it because I was trying to get that bee out of there.
I thought that was great, man. I thought that was great, man. So when we think about the work that we did at FSU in practice, right, against each other, right? I mean, I got the best work. You know, one-on-ones. When I got to the league, it was nothing like it was at Florida State.
Yeah.
You know, we competed because think about it now. Jack Stanton was my coach.
Yeah, boy.
And Kent Schofield was your coach. And Wally and Jimmy was throwing the ball. And you know, and think about it. No pass rush. Yeah. It was the best thing we had going.
That was skeleton. That was our skeleton.
7-on-7, right?
And Jackie and I, Schofield would go to the practice for the day, and we wouldn't even question what we're going to do, except when skeleton was going to happen.
When skeleton's coming up, right? Exactly.
That's what we had to start getting prepared for. It was going to be a fight. I guarantee.
It's going to be a dog fight. It's going to be a dog fight.
Funny. I don't know if it happened with Stanton. You know, I think he didn't care. Maybe he did. But if we won skeleton from you guys, man, that was we slept good that night.
Hey, listen. Jack Stanton was no joke, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. I played for a lot of guys, but I never played for a guy like Jack Stanton. And I love the guy. I mean, he was. A lot of people don't know this, Kurt. I don't know if you know this. Of course, he coached me 4 years at Florida State. He coached me 2 years in Atlanta.
Yeah, I knew that.
So he coached me 6 years. He's coached more than he coached anybody, right? Yeah. But I love the guy because all I could tell you, what the work we put in at Florida State, the way he coached, we got results from that kind of coaching, right? It was hard, you know, it was intense, but we were successful, and I thought that was the way, right?
You know what I remember about that the most, Bobby, by Jack Stanton with you guys? We would be practicing, and we get ready to go off the field and get ready to go in the locker room, shower and stuff. And I remember the secondary going to the stadium, run them ramps. I was like, man, I'm glad I'm not.
Oh my God! Hey,
I'm glad I'm not with them guys.
Dude, he would make us backpedal up the ramp all the way to the top. Yeah. You know, I mean, the guy was hard, but you know what? When we played on Saturdays, man, the game was easy.
Yeah.
The game was easy, and this was his two deals. Your technique had to be flawless. So he grades you on technique every play. Wally, he grades us on technique every play. So if you're not low in your back pedal, we'll give you a minus for that. You know, I mean, he kept chart of all the details. And then if the ball, let's say they didn't throw the ball my way or they didn't run the ball my way and I didn't get a chance to perform, my performance at that point was how I get to the ball, how I run to the football.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing left corner, and they throw a goal on Ivory Joe on the other side, And before the film going to the next play, if my body didn't appear in the frame before the next play,
wow,
give me a loaf.
Yeah.
Wow.
So think about that. So we're in the games thinking, I gotta be low, I gotta stay low, and I gotta get my butt to the football.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, we were not allowed, if you got hurt, he did not allow you to lay on the field.
Wow.
Listen, I'm just telling you, man. So remember we played Arizona State in Tampa?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're playing there, and it's raining that night, right?
Yeah, pouring down, yeah.
So I'm on their sideline.
Yeah.
Remember? So I'm on their sideline, and the receiver, we're doing a stalk block, and he punched me in my gut, knocked the wind out of me, right? Kurt, I would not fall down on my knee on that sideline. I stumbled all the way across the field. When I got to the side, I fell out of bounds like that, so he wouldn't hold it against me, right?
Let's go.
That's the kind of dude I played for, right?
That's the Gene Cox right there. I can tell you.
Exactly.
You know, Wally was saying something earlier about the clothing speed of Bobby Jackson, Bojack.
Oh man.
But I'm telling you, Bobby, your closing speed was, I mean, it would have been neck and neck between you guys, and I might have gave you an edge. Know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I ran that 15-yard out and you was on me, and if I didn't drive back to Wally and Jimmy, it was going the other way. Sometimes I ran a 15-yard out, and I would catch it at 6 yards. And I knew you was behind me.
Oh, I'm coming, bro.
I knew you was back. I would drive back.
I was just saying that, Bobby.
To compliment you on that too, Bobby.
I never played against anybody. Oh, good. Go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead.
No, you got it. Wally, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that with Bobby. Can you hear me? Okay, Jackie?
Yeah.
Is that when Bobby used to go back and do that back pedal, and then he saw the receiver going for that out, and he planted that back foot. He was so quick on that. He could just turn it, and he cut in front of that thing, and you scare a quarterback because you make you nervous. He's going to pick it and go. So yeah, I agree. I don't know of anybody that could do it. Well, Bobby, you were just the quickest. I don't know. I never played against this one.
Well, Bobby, just
stop. I know that.
You had a God-given ability. That quick feet, those quick feet, man. That's ooh.
And you was tough.
Good.
I told you this. Go ahead. I told you this when we talked on the phone.
Bobby, when you came in, we were in camp, beginning of fall camp. Excuse me. And Schumann came back to me and says, "Man, I just, and he was going against you for some reason. I don't know what it was. And he ran a post corner on you and turned you completely sideways. And you were going the other way. He was going the other way. And by the time the ball got there, you turned around and broke it up." And he went, wow. He came back to me. He says, I had that guy completely going the other way. And by the time the ball got there, he almost intercepted. For Mike Schumann to say something like that, that's pretty strong right there, buddy.
Yeah. I tell you what, Mike Schumann had my number. I'm telling you. He was a great, and you know what I loved about him? He was not, you could not intimidate Mike Schumann.
No.
He was the intimidator, right? Yeah. And as a little freshman, man, he'll catch the ball, man, he'll spike the ball right by my head, or he'll catch it. I'm on the ground, he'll drop the ball on me like that. Right? But his nickname, his nickname was the dog, right? He was the dog, right? Yeah. So I mean, but all that was good for me. I'm just telling you, all that was so good for me. And then to be in practice competing against Wally and Jimmy all the time, right? Balls coming in there it's coming at a different pace than anybody we're facing. I put it this way: I've never seen balls like those two guys threw until I got in the NFL.
Yeah.
And my teammate in Atlanta was a guy named Steve Barkowski. Him and Jimmy had the same kind of ball, right? I mean, like that, right? And so, but in college, I never experienced anybody throwing the ball like those two guys. Nobody.
Yeah.
They can definitely throw it. The rifleman and the surgeon.
The
rifleman and the surgeon.
The rifleman and the surgeon. Now, here's the thing. Now, Wally, I want to ask you this question. Because, nowadays, with social media and all that kind of stuff, everybody's a Monday morning quarterback now, right? And I'm thankful that it wasn't that way when we were playing, right? Because you and Jimmy were not the first two quarterback system in college football, but I'm going to say the best ever. I mean, none of you guys, you guys were not selfish players, right? You never got mad when you were not in the game. If Jimmy started in front of you, you were never over there hot and mad because you didn't start the game, And if he had a great game, you might not even play. But if you don't play well, then you come in. Right. I've never seen two guys like that. And I'm gonna tell you this is amazing. If Jimmy was having a bad game, you never had a bad game.
Yeah, that's right.
If you start the game off and you were having a bad game, Wally, Jimmy never had a bad game. And that was incredible. Yeah, and when I think about it worked out great. But when I think about like what's going on now, they're trying to figure out what quarterback. I said, dude, just let the coach him. Let him coach him. And then he'll put them in. And if they love each other and they're not selfish, man, we can go back to the Jimmy Jordan, Wally Woodham days, man. That's for sure, right? I mean, it's fantastic. So Wally, so tell me,
Bobby, I met both of them. Yeah. What's that now?
How was that for you?
I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
How was that for you and Jimmy?
Oh yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy and I've talked about it many times. It wasn't fun. Deal. I would not suggest it to anybody. And so a lot of the feelings, to be honest, I held back, because right. Mm-hmm. You're human and you're 18 years old. Right. You want to play. You think you're the guy. So, and I know Jimmy same way. So, but you just kind of keep your mouth. I mean, we part of that probably came up from coming up at Leon, that you're part of a team.
Absolutely.
And, you just didn't talk. You had to adapt at the team. And so we did, but honestly, at times it was tough and it wasn't easy. And I don't wish it on anybody. And I don't think it's a good system really, but that's the way it worked out. And so we're both in the same high school.
Right.
We played in town here, so it worked out good. But Jimmy and I were able to keep it pretty good friends. But it was we wanted to win. There was days we were out there, man, when he threw a good pass, I wanted to throw one better. We got better off each other, So yeah.
Man, that's cool, man. But here's a good thing though. You guys were not playing for yourself. And so that's to me, that's the epitome of being a great teammate.
Amen.
And when you put the team for yourself, because of course everybody wants to play, everybody wants to do better than the next guy, but we never knew those feelings, right? And it worked out so wonderful for FSU back in those days, man. It was just a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, and Bob, they were great leaders too. Both. Oh, man. They go in when Wally came in there, he took control, and we got right in line for what he wanted to do. The same thing with Jimmy. They were great leaders, and they performed.
But Wally was just so cool, man. He was cool, man. I mean, Wally had that temperament, man. He had that. He's like he was soul brother number one out there. Right?
Hey, Bobby, here it is.
Wally woo woo. Yes, sir. So, and here's the most amazing thing. So Wally, when we think about it, when you go down in history, I mean, you and Jimmy go down in history together, right? And even with me and Monk and Keith Jones, we go down in history together. I love that, man. I love that. And so both of you guys were inducted in the Fsu Hall of Fame in the same year, in 1985.
Very good.
Yeah. How was that, man? That had to be special.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. But I'm sitting here as we're talking, I'm looking at all you guys and thinking, man, we were a fortunate bunch of guys to play for Bobby Bowden. You know what?
Man,
I really want. I mean, come on. I mean, we talked about it as general, but really fortunate to play for a guy like that, and the coaches we had, and you mentioned, Bobby, the Jack Stantons and the way they worked you, and you and Monk and Keith, how y'all stay on the field longer than anybody. Golly, I think they demand it out of you. It's like you said, you play for Jack Stanton, and he just demanded it. But that's what brought the greatness of the God-given ability out of you. I believe that.
Exactly, I believe that too, Wally. Coach Bowden said something a long time ago when someone asked him what was the key to his success. Right? He said that the key to his success was to hire great assistant coaches. And sometimes Coach Stanton be pushing you so hard. Keith Jones quit 1 million times, and me and Monk we're begging him to stay. Keith, you can't. Keith quit.
He said
he quit with 4 games left in our senior year.
Did he really?
Well, me and Monk we were working. KJ, you can't go, man. Come on, we got 4 games, man. 4 freaking games, man. And so he go up to Coach Bowden's office, and here's a charm about Coach Bowden. Keith goes up to his office. He had enough. He can't take it no more. And when he come out of Coach Bowden's office, he felt so good about himself. He said, "I think I can make it for 4 games."
You're talking about Coach Bowden as a great coach.
Right there, buddy.
That's it.
Yeah. Coach Bowden, you can talk about Jack Stanton, but you got to put George Haffner in there.
Oh,
Man,
no doubt. No doubt.
Awesome. And, let me tell you something else. This is what I can see right now. If Jimmy threw me a ball or Wally threw me a ball and I didn't catch it smooth with no bobbling, if I bobble the ball, what happened, Kurt? Schofield come running down the field. Bobble is a miss. Bobble is a miss. That don't count. He bobbled the ball. I had great assistants, And check this out, Bobby. We didn't practice. You guys going up to the stadium.
Right.
Y'all fight fella. Well, we don't practice hard. We've been running against you guys. Ivan Joe done knocked everybody out. We done took about 2 or 3 interceptions the other way. Know that in the practice, know what Schofield say? What? All right, let's race. I believe I can beat y'all. He want to have a foot race with us. You remember that, Kurt?
Yes.
We dead tired trying to make it in. Now, he the coach. He want to have a foot race. He's still faster than us.
Now, Coach Schofield was fast even there, right?
Yeah, he was pretty good. Now.
He still could run a little bit.
Right?
Yeah. He sure
could. I bet he could run still.
He's still good.
He was funny, man. He was funny. God.
He never promised you a road.
But the nice thing about Schofield, and I have to compliment, and I made a statement in an interview one time that he was the perfect coach for kind of the receivers that we had there. We didn't have a bunch of speed. I mean, we had Jackie probably the fastest, then Hardest Johnson came in, but we did not have a lot of blazing speed, so we had to rely on great route running, catching the ball. And, and things happened after that. I mean, but at the end of the day, that's the kind of receiver that Schofield was in college and in the pros.
Right.
That he was a possession type receiver that could, that could run a great route and get open and catch the ball. And, if we'd have had another type of personality there, I know that I wouldn't play much, but it was that mindset that Schofield had, and that was a perfect time for us, I thought.
Right. Well, Kurt, talk about some of the receivers we had on the roster at FSU. We had Roger Overby.
Yeah. Well, my freshman year, we had the 2 starters, Jackie and I, and then we had Mike Barnes. Remember Mike Barnes?
Oh my God.
We had Gary Wolford actually. My freshman year, Gary Wolford actually started and played a little bit at wide receiver.
Yeah. At wide receiver?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
They moved him from DB to Stanton moved him, and he ended up over there with Schofield, and he played wide receiver for us. I remember that.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I had the talent that Gary Wolford had. My gosh, unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And then sophomore wise, we had Overby and obviously Schumann, and Mike Barnes was still around. Jackie and I. And then my junior year, we had it was Jackie and I think Phil Williams was there, and we had
Sam.
Bill
Sam.
Frazier,
Sam Platt.
Sam Platt. I'm sorry, Sam Platt. My God, I don't think about Sam Platt. That was a great addition to because that was our speed. You know, that was our deep threat with Sam Platt.
You know who our fastest receiver was at our freshman year? Hector Gray.
Hector Gray could run.
Hector Gray.
Hector played wide receiver.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Yeah.
76. That's
From
right.
Miami.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
See, when I was there, he was always a corner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he played wide receiver in 76. That's right.
Wow.
Jackie, wasn't he from
79.
Miami Springs or something like that?
Yeah, he's from Miami. He's from Miami, right?
And then
Wow.
in 79 we had we had Jackie and I, Hardis Johnson, and I guess Phil Williams in there, and Sam Platt, right? Yeah.
Phil Williams, right? Phil Williams, Warren Robbins.
Yeah.
And then my second senior year, we had Hardis, myself, we had Phil, and I'm trying to think there was somebody else in there, and I can't remember. But that was
Dennis McKenna.
Dennis McKenna, Din. That's right, Din.
Yes.
That was an awesome talent there. My God.
Man, I'm telling you, awesome, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we had some guys to throw the ball to, and we always had a backfield of great running backs, man.
Yep.
That's another thing. We talk about a passing game, but we always had 1,000-yard rush in the backfield, right, Wally?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we had Larry Keys, Martin
I just remember my sophomore year. Oh, Larry Key, man. Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
That was, you remember guys when in 77 when they started shaking those keys?
The keys, man.
I thought, man, I was just free. This is the greatest.
Hey, now Larry Keys.
I can't believe this. We're 5,000 in the stadium. They're shaking these keys.
I don't know if anybody in the secondary ever tackled Larry Keys in open field tackle.
Man, that guy was.
I was a freshman.
Running back.
I was a freshman Wally that year. I don't remember anybody tackling Larry Keys in open field tackle.
That guy was strong.
He was strong. I'm not physically strong.
He was really strong. I mean, man, he was. But Larry Key, I used to hand the ball off to Larry Key, and I'll never forget a thing and he'd go up in there. We'd fake it sometimes, throw a pass 344. But I'd watch Larry Key run up in that hole and get those shoulders square. And George Hafner used to say it was B-O-B, baby, bring your own block. And I tell you what, buddy, Larry Key would hit up in there. And I'm telling y'all, when he come back in the huddle, when Larry Key came back in the huddle after he got through running up in there as hard as he did, I'd be like, well, he never said anything, but one or two times he said something, I just stopped and froze. And I said, this man, because he's laying it out there. He's laying his blood out there. He ran in there like he was nuts.
Man,
he motivated. That dude motivated me.
Hey, that was my freshman year. And so you can imagine coming there, man. And I was telling we held about 40,000 back then, something like that.
Yep. Yeah.
And everybody in there had their keys, man.
Yeah, 35 to 40.
Taking those keys, man. That was a special time. That was special. That
was when I thought we'd arrive. Then, man, we'd arrive.
Right.
Let me pull another name out for you. That
okay.
It was just 1 year, and I don't know why this guy. What happened to him? Do y'all remember Holmes Johnson?
Holmes Johnson. He came in my class.
Boy, that guy was tough.
Yeah, Holmes came in my class.
But they moved him to running back, didn't they?
Yeah, he was always a tailback.
He was the
Holmes Johnson
played the whole year with shin splints.
Yeah, he was from Haines City, Florida.
He was great.
But he was a tough guy.
Real quiet guy, right, Bobby? Holmes
very quiet.
Real quiet.
Very quiet. I mean, very quiet. I mean, he was so quiet, even at the dinner table, he didn't say much. I mean, he'll sit there and have his head down pretty much the whole time, like that.
But he can run that ball.
Give him that football, and he ain't got his head down. He's looking everywhere he needs to go, right? But so think about the skill position. We talking about Holmes Johnson, Larry Keys, Mark Lyles, Gator Cherry.
Mike Whitey.
Man, who?
Mike Whitey.
Hey, listen,
Mike Whitey.
Fish.
Mike
Let me
Whitey
tell you
was
something. Let me tell you something. Fish was the
Mike Fish
hardest
was tough.
dude.
Yeah.
Fish was the hardest
Fish.
dude running back we had, bro.
Mike
I'm telling you
Whitey.
right now. Because we had to tackle those guys every day. And when you went with Fish, you better bring it, bro. You better bring it because he going to bring it every time.
Wow.
Right?
He was great. He was great. Right.
He had that forearm, didn't he, Bobby?
He had that forearm, bro. And
Yeah.
listen, Kurt, you better be tilted, leaning forward, and you better be coming 4.3 speed.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're gonna be laid out there on the field, right?
Well, I got a story I want to tell you about you, Bobby.
Okay.
Your freshman year.
Okay.
Bobby was playing corner. I think he was backing up Bobby Jackson.
Yep.
And you came up, and Ernie Washington turned the corner.
Ernie Washington.
Oh, Lord, boy. He stripped Bo Jack so many times.
Ernie.
Bobby Butler so many times. And boy, you know what? You was tough. I didn't think you was going to get up. Man, I said, man, that's a tough little knock there.
Hey,
Boy, that guy ran over you hard, but you know what?
Exactly.
You got up and you spread it right on back to the thing.
I can't tell you how many times I was knocked down on my feet in an FSU practice. It happened all the time.
He came back wide open, Bobby.
Well, you know what? When I saw Bobby Jackson, the way he played the run, right? I used to watch him, right? I used to watch him. And then I started to mimic some of the things he was doing against the run. And next thing you know, I got pretty good at it, right? And so, because with Jack Stanton, we may do half line guys run the same play for 10 minutes.
Wow.
And so you think about it, Kurt, when you're playing the strong corner, you with the tight end flanker side, right?
Yeah.
And I'm way out there in left field somewhere.
Yeah.
And then the way we decided who was going to have run support was if the ball came down the line, like an option down the line, dive down the line, or a toss sweep, and if the tight end blocked, so we had to take a read step and read all that before we declared was it cloud support or sky support, right? And so if it came down the line and the tight end blocked, I had support from way out in the field.
Wow.
So we'll do that drill 2 periods every day.
Let me tell you how good you got
over and over again.
I got to tell you how good you got at that, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
This is how good you got at that. My senior year,
Mm-hmm.
the Orange Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
Billy Sims,
Mm-hmm.
J.C. Watts ate us up.
Right.
Because you was coming up. Billy Sims didn't do all that.
Hey,
But
I
you
was
shut
coming.
him down. Now, I know you ain't want to bring that up.
Hey,
But you shut Billy Sims down that game.
I got to tell you a quick story. Jackie. Jackie, I don't know if you were with us that night, but you remember they had the Orange Bowl parade.
Yes.
And so we go to it was a handful of us at the Orange Bowl parade. And some of the guys started talking. There were some women, some black women over there, about 5 or 6 of them. And they just started a conversation, right? And so found out that they were the wives of J.C. Watt, Billy Sims, all those guys' wives, right? So they get into this going back and forth. What we're going to do to you, got your husbands? I'm just sitting there minding my own business. I'm saying nothing, right? And all of a sudden, Billy Sims' wife said, well, who are you? And I said, well, my name's Bobby Butler. She said, what do you play? I said, I play corner. She said, you play defense? I go, yes, I play defense. She said, oh, my husband go run all over you. I was so mad. And hey, Kurt, she was making me feel small, right? And I was so mad. So by the time I got to the game, I had some no ill intentions for Billy Sims.
Well, you played like it. You sure did. You shut him down. You played like it.
Oh man, that was a good night, man. If we could have won that one. Man.
Well, speaking of Oklahoma, I got to share a story with you guys. It's always one of my favorite thoughts about FSU. Oklahoma was the powerhouse of college football when we were there, and years before that, there was another Alabama. Oklahoma was a team.
That's right.
Our freshman year, we played Oklahoma. Jackie, you were there on sponge turf. It was like a sponge with concrete. I mean, it was just harder than rock. the stadium was in a bowl. I mean, down in a bowl type thing, and the fans were all over you, and you know, they ran the wishbone, and we were actually playing them pretty well. And all of a sudden, about 80 yards out, J.C. Watts, or one of the quarterbacks, runs the option and wins the wishbone, and pitches to one of those unbelievable, running backs. Elvis Peacock was his name.
Elvis Peacock from Miami, Florida.
He took it about 80 yards down the sidelines.
Miami, Florida, buddy.
The whole world, the whole stadium just was erupted. It was like being a volcano. And I look back, and the water coolers are vibrating off the bench. The intensity of the ground shake was so amazing. And good old Nate Henderson, remember old Nate Henderson?
Big Nate, Big Nate.
Nate was standing on the sidelines, right? He was offensive tackle. And I walked up to Nate, and I was scared to death. I was just turned 18 years old. Played in Oklahoma for 80,000 people, right? Wow. And old Nate looks at me and goes, "Kurt, welcome to college football." I mean, I was scared to death.
That's great, man.
That's great, man.
I tell you, watching that running back all the way down that sideline.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you what I saw in that game. I'll never forget. This built great pride in me in that game. Oklahoma had a offensive guard. I think he must have been about 6'5", about 285. And he pulled around, and Aaron Carter hit him with a forearm and dropped him to his knees. I will never forget that. Yeah. Aaron hit him with 200 pounds, 195.
Right. That.
I said, that's what I remember about that game. Aaron Carter dropping that big guy.
It's amazing that you say that, right? Because when I came there in fall of 77, Aaron was the starting middle linebacker. He was a play caller on defense. He called the defenses in the huddle. And Jimmy Higgins was the other middle linebacker, and Jimmy was a 600-yard dash guy. And so you get a chance, and then Bobby Jackson, 5'9", 185 pounds. I always tell Bobby, I always thought he was smaller than me, even though I weighed a lot less because I was taller, right? And so I was just amazed that, you had normal-sized guys playing college football. And you look at Kurt and what Kurt was doing, you had normal-sized guys that can participate. Because all my life I was told, you're too small.
Yeah.
You're too small. And it just made me mad all the time. Well, no, I want to play. I'm not too small. Let me play, right? And so that was the thing. That was a blessing for me to come to practice and see a guy like Aaron play middle linebacker. And I'm telling you, he did it well.
Well, he was a terror.
Oh, my gosh.
That guy could stick.
He did it well. He did it well. Well, listen, guys, man. We'll sit here. We can talk all day, man. And
absolutely.
I don't think he was.
I thank you guys for just coming on the show and giving up some of your time. I first of all want to tell you how much I love you guys. My life has always been changed because I've known you guys for most of my life. I can think of every one of you guys at any particular time, and it put just a big grin on my face all the time, man. And because we share some great moments together. We share some great moments together. Yes, and
Bobby, I got to say, the guys at FSU is a brotherhood.
Oh, yes.
And I made a comment on Facebook about this. And we got a great bond that'll always be there, no matter what position. Yes. But that secondary is the anchor. That secondary is the anchor of our brotherhood. When Nat Terry playing the lead guitar and we got the spoon, somebody playing the drum, and we coming down. But hey, Florida State football team that year is a family.
Oh man, that was good stuff.
It was a family.
That was
awesome.
And matter of fact, when Blade had that little group, I was a freshman. Right? I said, Blade, man, I play the bass guitar. I sent for my bass guitar back home. And I brought my bass to Tallahassee, man. Wanted to be a part of what they were doing in music because Bo Jack was playing drums, right? And that was writing music. A lot of people don't know that. That was some stuff about him that people didn't know, that he was a great musician. So real quick, before we go, I want to ask all of you just one quick question. What is it about you that most people at FSU don't know about you? Wally, what is one thing that you do or what you did growing up that nobody know about you?
What I did, say it again, or what I did growing up.
Anything or anything you do now that people don't know about.
Probably, probably the thing that has driven me the most the last few years is just, I'm a work in progress, but striving for Christ, I think, is something that, like old Paul said.
Right.
I don't want to be more like him. I fall every day and I get very discouraged at times. I'm not going to kid you. I get very discouraged. Right. But yet at the same time, there's something about that pure character of Christ. It's just that's what I want to be that way. I'm not that way, but I look forward to it. being whole.
All of us are a work in progress.
Amen.
And we just need to keep walking towards that goal. Because one thing we do know, Wally, that there is only one perfect man to walk.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
And he's the guy that we look up to.
Yeah.
And he's a great example for our lives.
Amen.
Thank God we have the ability as believers to get on our knees and ask him to forgive us, and he's faithful and just to do that. Amen?
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen. What about you, Jackie? Something about you nobody don't know.
Well, I can tell you this right now. I ditto on the Christ situation, but one of the things I did not ever want to do is pump gas. That's all. I hated pumping gas.
So for the people, Kurt, let's clarify that. Kurt's dad, Mr. Unglob, owned gas stations in Tallahassee.
That's right.
The old Duff gas station around the corner of Tennessee and Monroe. And that man was so good because when I came to Tallahassee, I had nothing. So I go up there and it was a group of guys from Jacksonville laughing at me. One day it got real cold in Tallahassee, and I'm on the bus stop, on the bus corner with a high school letterman jacket, and my mouth was white. I had the white mouth, and they were laughing because I was so cold. So Mr. Unglob gave me a job. I was pumping gas, Kurt. I was pumping gas.
I pumped gas there too.
And so Dad and Jackie was with me pumping gas at your dad's gas station, so we can put a couple dollars in our pocket, so I can buy my first leather jacket. I was so proud of that. He gave me the job, and I went and bought my first leather jacket. And I couldn't wait for the next winter. Now look at me now. Amen. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. All right, Jackie, what about you?
Good.
I'm gonna tell you, I came up in a bad neighborhood. Mm-hmm. I was a troublemaker and a hoodlum. When I got the reins, I met two guys who said, "We don't do it like that here, sophomore." And that guy name was Terry LeCount and Charlie Horse Williams. Wow. They guided me right. Yep, they guided me right. I didn't get in any trouble anymore. I was proud to be on that team, and they anchored me in that. And then I go to Florida State, and I get around Kurt, Wally, Schumann, Nat Terry, Ivory Joe, who guided me in the right direction. Right. Kurt showed me more love as a brother. You know, when I got married, Kurt gave me my wedding, my bed. He gave me a water bed, and I had all around it. Yeah. And you know what? The love that these guys showed me, from going back from Charlie Horse and Terry to Kurt and Jimmy and Wally Woo Woo. Woo Woo was a smooth guy, you know.
Who was a smooth guy? Now, he was a smooth guy.
You know, Nat Terry was always a leader. Willie Jones. Yeah. I had guys that kept me in line.
Amen.
And the silent giant, Big Nate Henderson.
Man, what a man. Hey, what a man. Nate Henderson, what a man.
These guys saved my life.
Amen. Well, guys, man, that's awesome. Hey, listen, thank you again for being on the show. Hey, we gotta chop it up. We gotta chop it up again. You know,
let's do it.
We gotta chop it up again soon.
Good to
Hey,
talk to you all.
I'll see some of you guys this week.
Thank you, Bobby.
Y'all playing golf this week in Tallahassee?
That's
Thursday coming up. This Friday, right?
the golf tournament's in November.
No. That's a different golf tournament.
Okay, no, I'm not playing. I know what you're talking
Okay,
about.
all right. Well, listen, guys, thanks for your time. Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
Love you, Bobby. Love you, man.
Okay.
Love you. That's the show for the night, people. If you like it, share it, comment. This is 100 Yards of Football and your legend show with the great Wally Woodham, Kurt Unglaub, and Mr. Jackie Flowers. Thank you again, guys.
Thank
God
you.
bless, my